The other day, I was scrolling on Facebook, and you know how we do it. Even though I just decided to go on Facebook, I mean, build like a brand there. And I saw a post, and it just stopped me. It was like this particular person who posted that post, it felt like he took the thoughts that were in my head and posted it online. And what he said in that post was actually the things that we all talk about when we are frustrated, when we are tired. And here's what he said. And I really want you to hear this. He posted and he said, I've been searching for an engineer on YouTube teaching about AI, its tools and robotics technology, but it is so hard to find. The root of the issue is our poor economy and leadership. Instead, everyone wants to become content creators in music, comedy, and entertainment. People aren't getting more creative. They are just copying whatever is trending. And when I read that post, I said to myself, this is true talk. This actually makes sense. And it felt like the whole system, especially the system that we have in Nigeria, is designed to frustrate you. And the system, I mean the government system. So it felt like the whole government system is set up to just make you give up. And I know it also feels like the country is also set up to reward people who go online and dance, people who are like clowns, who make people laugh, while the people who are actually serious, I mean like the people who actually get sense, they are left to struggle. And that's why you see shows like Big Brother Naija, they give away hundreds of millions to like the winners. But you see, for example, the best mathematics teacher in the country gets maybe around 10 million naira or so. Let's say when they go for like a multi-night show. So sometimes it just makes you want to scream. You just want to be like, what's really going on? And then you decide and think maybe being a content creator or being a clown or someone that makes other people laugh or entertain people is like the best option for you to succeed, especially online. I mean, it is good. I like the entertainers. I like the entertainment industry. It is a good one. However, that's not the only path for you to earn money online. And then I went to the comment section. And we all know that the comment section is where the truth will always be there. Like you see a post and you don't understand what that post is all about, just go to the comment section. You will understand it fast. So it was in the comment section then I saw where the pain of every Nigerian was actually laid. Like everyone just kept on commenting their own pain, their own struggle and everything. And one particular brother actually said, he said something like this. He said, the forces here in Nigeria are so strong, we are struggling to use power or electricity generated from Bet Ninja shops and petrol station to power our digital devices. Some are still battling with 200 MB to attend life-changing webinars on YouTube. The journey far, sir, except those who came from rich homes. Now, when I read that, I actually felt it, right? Because I have lived it. And honestly, I know what it means for NEPA to just take the light when your laptop is maybe 15% and you have to be online to do something that actually matters and you need a laptop to do that particular thing, right? I know what it means to budget your last 500 Naira for data and then you pray, or you are even praying that it lasts the whole week, right? The struggle is actually real. The frustration is actually real. And I am not here to actually tell you that your pain is not valid. I promise you, it is valid 100%. And I hear you and I see you. But after I finished nodding my head, after I finished agreeing to like what the person said and what everybody was saying, the complaints that everyone had, right? And I was just thinking, or another thought just entered my head, and it was a very hard thought. And the thought actually made me uncomfortable because I had to ask myself a question. I said, what if the government is not the biggest problem? Like, what if NEPA is not the biggest thief of our dreams? What if the biggest thief of your future is your own thumb? And I want you to actually understand something very important, because every single second that you spend online, you are actually spending a currency. It is not Naira, it is not dollars. That currency that you are spending is your attention. And you may not know, but you are making other people rich with it. So when you spend 30 minutes watching a comedy skit, you are actually paying that comedian with your attention. When you scroll through Instagram for 2 hours, where you are arguing about Bobrisky, you're arguing about VDM, you're arguing about whoever you argue about or you feel like you want to argue about, you are literally paying Mark Zuckerberg with your attention. Like, it's sometimes it gets really difficult for me to even pronounce his name, but I'm learning. And I also want you to think of it like this. You see, for generations, they took our crude oil, they took our resources. You should go read history, right? But I want you to know that they have found a new resource. And that resource is inside every one of us. And that resource is your focus. Your focus, your eyeballs are the new oil fields. And your thumb is the new pipeline. And every time you scroll, you are actually pumping your value. You are pumping your currency straight to where? Silicon Valley. So these people have built multi-billion-dollar empires by mining the attention of people like you and I. And they call it the attention economy. And in the attention economy, your focus is the gold. Your attention is the resource that they are mining, is the gold that they are mining. Your focus is the gold that they are mining. And it is your thumb, like I said, what you use to scroll on your screen, what you use to swipe. every time you swipe, every time you scroll, you are pumping your value, you are pumping your currency, you are giving them money, you are paying them, right? So when you go on these applications, you are not using these applications for free. Please understand that you are literally paying to use these applications. And this is why the thought actually made me uncomfortable. Because it is very easy to blame the Nigerian government. It is very easy to blame NEPA. And it actually feels good to actually say that, oh, it is not my fault that I am broke. It is not my fault that I am poor. It is not my fault that things are not working out for me. The other day, I saw a post, a comment, because I really love the comments. And if you are as smart as I think you are, you can start any brand just by solving problems from people who actually post their problems in the comments. Like, I mean, you can create solutions just by looking at other people's comments, right? And then start a brand and then plug a product and you earn a lot of money. As I was saying, it's very easy to actually blame the Nigerian government. And in that comment, somebody said that, well, it was under a particular billionaire's, I think it was Otedola's daughter's wedding. And everyone was just complaining about like, oh, they spent so much money, they spent this, they did this. And then somebody said something that was actually insightful. And she said that, I think it was along this line. She said, can we all just thank God that every day we complain that we don't have money? However, we always find a way to be online, to watch a particular video, or to be on TikTok, and we never lack food to eat. So what she was literally saying was that we do always have a way, we do always find a way to stay connected, right? And I think it's something good because we are connecting with friends and families, and I'm also connecting with you, which is also giving me an opportunity to speak with you and hopefully change your life. So it's back to what I was saying. It's actually it's very easy for you to blame the Nigerian government. But this blame that you are blaming Nigerian government, you are blaming NEPA, and you are not blaming yourself for being stuck, you are not blaming yourself for being broke, is what psychologists actually call the self-serving bias. And in simple terms, let's say for my mother, in case she's listening to this, it means that when you succeed, you say, oh, I am smart, I work hard, right? But when you fail, you say, it is the government, it is NEPA, there is no job, there is no this, there is no that. Now, this is a natural human instinct, and I need you to also understand that it is not your fault, because it is a way that your mind protects your ego. It is a way that your mind protects your self-esteem, right? And let us be very, very honest. In Nigeria, this self-serving bias is on steroids. Right? And why do I think it is on steroids? Because the external forces are actually real. Like these forces that actually, as some people may think, hinder them from succeeding are actually real. I mean, NEPA does take the lights, like they do take the lights. And the economy is hard for some people. So when our mind see all these things, understand all these things, it just grabs onto these truths because it is easier to say, oh, the system is corrupt. But the unfortunate or the uncomfortable truth is that our mind, it is hard for us to actually tell ourselves that I actually wasted my day scrolling. And here is what is even much more uncomfortable. The same instinct that is protecting your feelings today is the same one that is stealing your future tomorrow. Now, what do I mean by that? The same instinct that is telling you that, oh, it is not your fault, that makes you feel like it is not your fault that you have not succeeded, especially online, is the same instinct, is the same bias that is stealing your future tomorrow. Okay, how do we start? How do you take back your control? How do you take back your control, regardless of the fact that you may be you may be paying these people, but how do you take back control? And I'll tell you that it is not complicated at all, because if you follow this simple 3-action plan with no excuses, you are going to succeed in at least 5 years. And now I said 5 years because it takes a lot, right? And you don't get if it's too good to be true, you should just run away from it. If it's too good to be true, just run away from it. If someone is offering you an offer that does not require you to do any sort of hard work, just run away from it. I tell you, you get burnt, right? So if you follow this simple 3-step action plan, I assure you, in less than 5 years or in less than 3 years, you'll be surprised where you end up. Now, the first assignment is simple. For 1 week, I want you to use the screen time function on your phone. That's if you have an iPhone, it's called screen time. And if you use an Android phone, it is called digital well-being. I want you to go to your settings, find it, and then turn it on. And at the end of the week, I want you to look at the numbers. I want you to see where your hours, where your currency, where your life is actually going. How many hours did you pay to TikTok? How many hours did you pay to Instagram? How many hours did you pay to Facebook? And I guarantee you that the numbers will actually shock you. Like just for a week, it will shock you, right? Because it is going to open your eyes. Now that's step 1. Step 2. After that, I don't want you to try to change your life overnight, right? This is how New Year resolutions fail. Like you hear a lot of people when it's January 1st, 2026, they tell you, oh, I'm going to be this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that, because they try to change their life overnight, right? They say from today onwards, I am a different person or something. But you go back and you check in the next 7 days, 1 month, they are still, or they most probably have not made any progress, right? So do not try to change your whole life overnight. The plan is actually very simple. I just want you to replace 1 hour. right? I want you to replace 1 hour of scrolling mindlessly online with learning, focused learning. Now just take 1 hour a day, right? 1 single hour a day, and focus on learning instead of scrolling, right? And I need you to think about it as farming versus sugar. Now, when you scroll endlessly online, you are consuming sugar, right? It gives you this particular quick, sweet rush, but it does not have any nutrition. We all know that sugar does not have any nutrition, right? Because it leaves you empty. And learning is like farming. Farming is hard work. It takes time. And you do not see results immediately. But if you plant the seeds every day, in fact, you don't even have to plant the seeds every day. You just have to plant once and then continue taking care of that seed that you've planted, that is in the ground that you've planted, by watering it, right? And when you continue to take care of it, one day you will have a harvest that can actually feed you and your family for a lifetime. Whether you like it or not, if you have a farmland, or if your family have a farmland, and you plant the crop beans, for example, we all know that it takes a couple of months for beans to actually grow and get ready for harvest, right? Now, will you, after planting that crop on your farmland, will you go and keep on checking if the beans has germinated and is ready for harvest? Of course not. You literally wait until when it is time for harvest. But as you wait, you are always going back to the farmland. You're always checking, taking care of the farmland, removing the weeds, clearing and some stuff like that. You understand what I mean? It takes time, right? Compared to when someone just gives you sugar and say, hey, take. So it is the same thing. If you are endlessly scrolling online, you are just getting sugar. You're not getting nutrition. You're not eating good food. But if you are farming and you know that harvest time is coming, and when you harvest, you're going to get like a lot of food for you and your family. Now that is even much more better. So instead of going on YouTube to search for the new car that Davido has gotten, right? I want you to search for AI for beginners, right? Because artificial intelligence is something that so many people are sleeping on right now. And we're going to talk more about this in the future. So instead of searching for like the latest celebrity gossip, I need you to search for introduction to like data analysis, right? So that you can learn some skills. And guess what? It is the same YouTube, it is the same amount of data that you use to learn, that you use to look at these gossips, right? It is the same amount of time, but it is just a different destination for your future, right? Okay. The third action plan, the third step that I want you to take to change your life, or to start changing your life, is finding your specific knowledge. Now, this is the most final and even the most important step, and this is the long-term vision. So you need to find your own gold mine, right? And this gold mine is what a thinker that I really admire so much, Naval Ravikant, he calls it specific knowledge. Now, specific knowledge is that one thing that actually feels like play to you, but it looks like work to other people. Like when you do it, it feels like play. You are excited. You are happy doing it. But when other people see you do it, they think you are working. And this specific knowledge is not something that they teach you in a university that is on strike. It is not something that you learn in the classroom as a secondary school student. It is not something you learn at your workplace, right? This specific knowledge is the degree, is the certificate that you give to yourself. Because nobody can actually compete with you at being you. Nobody can compete with me at being me. And right now I am being me, I'm being myself. Nobody can compete with me, right? So let's say, for example, if you love organizing like your family events, now that's project management, right? If you can argue for Africa, you can persuade somebody to do anything. Now that is sales, that is marketing, that is law, right? I want you to find that one thing that you do for fun, that one thing that actually gives you energy instead of draining your energy, right? And then I want you to go online and learn how to become the best in the world at it. How to become the best in the world at it. Right? Because it is when you become the best at doing something that these opportunities that you are seeking begin to look for you. Because whether you like it or not, what you are looking for is also looking for you. But the only challenge that we face in Nigeria is that so many people are not skilled enough, right? They're not skillful enough for the positions that can actually earn them much more money. The other day I was asking my friend, and I said, so you have this particular person as a close friend, right? Now, I have this offer and I need someone, and this is how much I want to pay. Can this person that you know handle this task? And they told me no, they cannot handle it. And I said, okay, what is this particular person's, what are their particular skills? What are their skills? And he said, no, they don't have any skills. And I said, wow. So that means I cannot help them, right? But at the end of the day, this particular guy keeps complaining that he needs money, keeps complaining that the government is harsh, the economy is bad, everything is expensive. But here I am offering a particular offer that I am willing to pay. But he does not have the skill, or they don't have the skill, right? So I also believe that a lot of this thing is not really, we don't really have a money problem in Nigeria. And I mean like young entrepreneurs, young people. I don't think we have a money problem. I strongly believe that we have a skill problem. Because I kid you not, if you are very, very skillful at makeup, for example, so many people will look for you. If you are very, very skillful at video editing, so many people will look for you. Right? Now, I digress. I want to tell you a story. And the story is about two people. They actually live in the same neighborhood. And these two people, they face the same NEPA issues. These two people, they buy data at the same price. They buy MTN recharge card at 100 Naira each. Now, person A spends 3 hours every night. They spend these 3 hours scrolling, swiping, laughing at memes, arguing about football, commenting to irrelevant posts. Now, in 5 years, where do you think this particular person is going to end up? Where do you think they are going to become if they continue like this? Because mind you, they will always find a way to go online. They will always find a way to get data so they can keep on scrolling, swiping, and laughing. Right? In 5 years, where do you think they will end up? The same spot. The exact same spot. And they will be complaining about the government. And they will still be worried about their data getting finished. And most probably be worried that they don't have money to buy data. Now, person B, in the same neighborhood, with the same NEPA wahala, right? And with the same MTN, 100 Naira MTN that they get, right? But this particular person actually spends that same 3 hours, or not even spend, he invests them, right? He uses these 3 hours to learn like a high value skill online. Now, if you see where I'm going to, in 5 years, you can tell that that person is going to live in a completely different world. And you can tell that that person is going to earn in dollars while living in Nigeria. That person is going to make much more money in dollars while they live in Nigeria. Because why? They invested their time to learn a high value skill online. Right? And this is only going to happen because this particular person has learned how to turn their greatest frustration into their greatest advantage. So my people, the struggle is real. NEPA will take lights. NEPA has been taking lights since even before my dad was born, right? Data will still be expensive. As I am recording this right now, there is no light in my house. I used to have a generator, but I sold it. But that's unnecessary information. But when electricity comes, I'll charge my laptop and I will make good use of the time, or I'll invest the time that I have left on my laptop, right? Like the battery that I have left on my laptop, I will make good use of it to watch something that I need to learn, to create, right? So I am not denying the problems. I am actually deciding that we can become bigger than the problems. You are bigger than the problems that you think you are currently facing. And the funniest thing about this whole story, or this whole podcast that I have created, is that the answer that they were searching for in that particular post, which led to the creation of this particular podcast, is that the man who posted it, right, he didn't end with a complaint, right? he actually ended with a declaration, and he said, we don't have to wait until somebody builds what we need, because we can actually do it ourselves. And I want you to listen to that again. We can do it ourselves. Now, you can do it yourself. You can start. And this is the mindset that actually changes everything for everyone and everybody. This is the thought that actually builds nations. This is the idea that turns a generation of consumers into a generation of builders. So, I'm talking to you. Yes, you. I'm talking to you now. You. The one that is listening to me. If you are tired of complaining, if you know you are meant for more, if you know you can do more, I want to tell you that your thumb has two choices right now. I want you to know that your thumb, the thumb that you used to swipe, the one that you used to scroll, the finger that you used to scroll, is your thumb, right? The big finger. I want you to know that it has two choices. Now, it can scroll or it can build. It can consume or it can create. It can cost you millions or it can make you millions, right? And you also need to understand that the internet is the great equalizer. And the internet does not care who your father is. It does not care what party is in power or who the president is. The internet only rewards what you build, what you learn, what you create. That is the only reward you get, whether tangible or intangible. So, let them complain. Let them argue. Let them spend their attention making other people rich. But I don't want you to complain. I don't want you to argue. I don't want you to spend your attention making other people rich. We, you and I, we are going to build. We are going to build our future. We are going to build our fortune. We are going to make good use of our gold mine. We are going to mine our gold, right? We're going to mine our gold, and we're going to farm on our land, on our farmland, so we can harvest lots of food for our family, for ourselves and our family, so we can get rewarded in full. So, let us build together. I am new here.